Money time. Steven, let's talk about Georgia Tech.
Let's
Do you want to
talk
give us
about it.
an
Let's
do you
talk.
want to give us do you want to give us an introduction to the 2025 Georgia Tech season?
Uh, yeah. For those who don't know, Georgia Tech. We've had our ups and downs. I think our season in summary was one that had its highs and then of course had its lows. But that being said, I have a very positive outlook into the 2026 season. Even though we've lost some key talent, both to the portal and just to after you have a quarterback that plays for 7 years in college football, you can't give him that 8th year. I think we are locked, loaded, and reloaded, both from a player standpoint and then also from a coaching standpoint. We have a new same head coach, Brett Keys, and Keys I trust. Same head coach, but we've kind of added on with the new OC and the new defensive coordinator. So I think the sky's the limit with Georgia Tech. I think our schedule allows for that, and I'm looking forward to the new season.
Awesome. Appreciate
Nice.
that. Yeah. This year, Georgia Tech, at one point, they were the talk of the nation. Haynes King, King him. What were you doing at the game? King him? Yes,
Yeah,
sir. They were sitting at 8-0 at one point, ranked number 7 in the country. I was really looking forward
yeah.
to that top 10 UGA Georgia Tech game. Did not happen that way. Maybe next year. But even after that 8-0, a November skid turned a potential playoff run into a what if story, right? So, Aaron, why don't you talk to us about what their expected record was, and what their actual record ended up being?
Absolutely. So you got to take this, you guys, you got to remember the expected record was projected at the beginning of the season. People expected Georgia Tech to have just another regular, mid-season. 7-5 is what most people expected, but nobody saw them as like this top 10 contender in October. So when that actual record came, and they had a 9-4 record and 8-0 up until October, it kind of shocked the country. So despite losing those 4 of the last 5 games, I'd say they had a pretty solid year. They beat expectations and they won some pretty solid games. So we're gonna give them an A- here.
Steven, at what point during the season were you like, oh, this is special? Something special is going on here.
I'll be honest. It would be the Clemson game.
Mhm.
Um, I could tell you, I remember exactly where I was. I took my family down to Minneapolis because we were gonna go watch the Falcons game that weekend. It's the Falcons. We had uh, 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 you know, a lot of high expectations. Second year, with our head coach. I was like, you know what, it would be a good opportunity to also, it's Saturday, game of the Sunday. Let me go watch my Yellow Jackets. We're playing Clemson, and of course, I found a bar full of Clemson fans,
Oh,
and I
perfect.
came to the game saying like this is the game that we like, and I was telling everybody that this is the game. Again, my brother and my younger sister went to UGA, so it's always going to be a topic of discussion. But when it comes to Georgia Tech, told everybody, hey, look, tune into that Clemson game. Like we're about to shock the world and beat Clemson. They're playing at home, and the game went down to the wire. There's a lot of back and forth, but that field goal, is what sealed it for us. And that to me was when I was like, okay, this team is can do something special because again, our schedule at that point between Clemson and Georgia, like the teams that were in between, like were beatable, right?
Hmm.
Clemson going into the season, I felt like Clemson was very overhyped. For reasons that there's not enough time in this podcast that we can to discuss. But I think they were overhyped, and the scoreboard showed that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I agree with your Clemson take. We're going to talk about that game specifically in a little bit. So we'll get into that a little bit more. Let's talk about coaching real quick. So we gave a B plus. Brent Key. I mean, I know you're very high on him. I'm very high on him. I think he's doing great for Georgia Tech. He's officially kind of restored a culture there at Georgia Tech that we haven't seen for the last couple of coaches. He has the Jackets playing big boy football, whatever you want to call it. Obviously, that was evidenced by that 8-0 start, and a very monumental win against Clemson that kind of dictated what the rest of the season is going to look like. End of the season did kind of fade, like I mentioned, but he responded aggressively. I think he's replaced key staff members who have left for other schools. He has shown that he is not settling for a good 9-win, season. So B+ here, Steven, all inclusive, like coaching replacements and all that, and how they did this year. You okay with the B+ or something different?
I'm very hard on myself, so I'm going to be hard on my team. I would give it just a B, and I say
Okay.
that not because I don't believe in what Brett Keys is doing, but when you lose well, we had to get rid of our defensive coordinator because we needed a better one.
Oh, y'all had a
But
defensive
when you
coordinator?
replace, huh?
Y'all had a defensive
Say again?
coordinator? Did y'all have a
I
defensive
mean,
coordinator?
and that's what you got jokes. It was enough to make the game close to UGA, but
Okay.
we'll talk about that later. But yeah, no, when you replace a defensive coordinator as well as an offensive coordinator, it gives a lot of like questions as to like how's the offense going to be, and especially when you throw in, and now we have a quarterback battle. We have to figure out who's going to be our quarterback. It's still up for debate. And on top of that, while I do have a lot of faith in Brett Keys and who he's bringing on, it just has to, the verdict is out as to like who and how those coaches will adjust. Now, I
Yeah.
will say I do believe that those coaches will adjust well, right? Because I think for our defensive corner we have Jason, I forget his last name, but he was a defensive assistant for Georgia Tech like a couple years back, did a couple stints and is coming back. So, and then you have George Gotti, offensive coordinator, former quarterback for the Jackets, played with Brett Keys. So again, he's bringing, and what I like about what Brett Keys is doing is he's bringing guys who genuinely care about the school, whether it be like, hey, they coached here or they went here. So, when you bring guys that actually give a damn about what they're doing, they're gonna take each game seriously. They're gonna prep correctly, and I think the sky's the limit when you have a group of guys who are all working as one to one common goal. Because again, they all scream to hell with Georgia, so it's in their blood.
Nice. Nice. Aaron,
Yeah.
how did the offense and defense do this year?
Yeah. So I mean, you kind of alluded to it earlier, Steven. Offense, amazing. One of the most efficient units in the country, led by Haynes King. Finished
Nice.
top 10 in Heisman voting. All in all, with my bias being a Georgia fan, he has to be one of like the most determined guys that I've seen, from last year to this year, just working to try to be better and the best. So got to tip my cap to a guy like that who probably carried this team on offense in a couple games this season, right? So it's going to be hard to replace somebody like him who was just the engine of this offense. And he led the ACC in completion percentage at 69.3%. The Achilles heel on the other side, the latter topic, is the defense, right? After, a bend no break start, they started to fall apart. We saw in games like North Carolina State, they nearly gave up 600 yards, and they struggled to honestly stop a lot of teams in the final month. Ultimately, they ranked 107th nationally in yards allowed per game. I think that's still better than Tennessee, but that's not
Barely,
where you want to be.
barely.
Yeah. Yeah.
That defense definitely showed up against Georgia, but I wouldn't even consider that their worst loss. Let's go into that topic here. So their best win, I think it was that 24-21 win against Clemson. Aaron and I, we were there at Georgia Tech. That was a very fun game to
Yeah,
watch.
you
It was
did. You did text me. It just hit me that you did text me, and I
Oh,
was
I was hanging out
literally
with Haynes
at.
King. We were hanging out on the field with Haynes King right after the game, man. It was great.
Right.
I bet so.
Yeah, it was great. But we talked about that Clemson game. That worst loss has to be that 42-28 game against Pittsburgh. They still had a 9-1 record, chance to clinch the ACC, go to the playoffs, all that sort of stuff. They really laid an egg. They fell behind 28-0 pretty early, and they fumbled all that away. Steven, just real quickly, what were your thoughts about that game at that point? Sorry to pick on you at your lowest moment.
No. I mean, I think the Pittsburgh loss did hurt because again, like we had an opportunity to right our wrongs, but I think in my opinion, the worst loss was the NC State
Okay.
loss. I think the
That was the first
snowball
loss. That was the
of
first. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, exactly. I think the snowball effect of the NC State loss then lead into I think we played Boston College next. Even though we did beat Boston College, like Boston College only won one game, and we were like neck and neck with
Yeah.
Boston College. So like it didn't look good going to the Pittsburgh game. So when the Pittsburgh game started the way it did, I was like, okay, like this defense is like, they are completely falling apart. So, while the Pittsburgh game did sting, I think the NC State game was what really sent us down the
Rabbit hole.
down the hole that we were in. Because as Aaron mentioned, like we made that quarterback look like a Heisman candidate, and he is good.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I think he's gonna make a big splash in the ACC next year, but 600 yards is crazy. It was their homecoming. I have friends who went to NC State. I was texting them. I was like, "Hey, sorry to ruin your homecoming." And let's say that I got a lot of messages back about like, "Wait, what was that again?" So
Oh.
yeah,
Dang.
I would only change the NC State to be the worst loss. Maybe not points wise, but when our
The whole season in general.
legs take from under us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So we'll give that category a B+ for Georgia Tech. Aaron, talk to us about the future of what do they call it? The school on North Ave, or what do they call it? The trade school on North Ave.
Yeah, I mean, the future is still looking bright for Georgia Tech. They've mastered the art of bringing, Georgia kids back home. They landed 19 transfers for the 2026 cycle. A big name, Justice Haynes. He's going to make a lot of noise, and keep that run game that Georgia Tech has pretty dominant. Quarterback transition. That's going to be the interesting thing. With Haynes King graduating, Alberto Mendoza. You may know his bigger brother, right? Is he going to be able to fill the shoes that his big brother has, provided? Is he going to be that household name? Georgia Tech believes so. They paid him the money, and he is now in the flats, right?
I've got a question. How did
Mhm.
Alberto Mendoza make a decision so fast? It's almost like he knew where he was going before he entered the portal. How did that happen?
Hey, what state did they play in the week before? I think
The Peach
wasn't
Bowl. Oh, the
Peach
Peach
then?
Bowl. That's got it.
The Beach Bowl. It's
He was
hey,
hanging out in
look,
Atlanta. He was hanging out in Magic
he
City.
was
I was like, I
he,
can go to Georgia Tech. I could see myself going here. Got it. Got it.
hey, Haynes King just said, "Hey, look,
But what
this
did
could be you."
they were talking? Uh-oh.
Who
Did you
knows?
just admit to tampering? All right, let's move on. All right, let's move on. Gotcha.
Yep. So all in all, with the bright future they have, we gave them an A- there, and then they ended the season with a final grade of a B+. So not too shabby, if I must say so myself.
Steven, final thoughts on that final grade.
Hey, look, I am very big on that. So I think the grades given are well deserved. I'm a big fan of just the way Brett Keys goes about the transfer portal, right? I know you mentioned like some of the bigger names like a Justice Hayes, like a Alberto Mendoza, but if you remember what I said earlier, like a lot of his early picks were like trench players, like defensive linemen, offensive linemen. And
Trenches.
given that Brett Keys is an offensive lineman at heart, he understands that, with all the changes, we did lose some skill guys to the portal, not gonna throw out names here, but the school in Athens did get one of our wide
Wide receiver.
receivers, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. But he he is and Brett Keys did a good job of just kind of reloading. I think he wants to run the ball, right? I know a lot of people are going to be big on Justice Hayes, and Justice Hayes, undoubtedly is a great pickup. Like the I know we talked about the Ohio State game, but in my opinion, I'm like, what if Justice Hayes was playing that game? Like does it change the outcome of it? Because he was on a terror
Yeah.
before he got hurt. Like,
Mhm.
he's averaging like over 7 yards a carry. Like if you look up any you guys can fact check me here because I did look this up. You pull up his highlight from last year, he has so many runs of over like 50 plus yards.
Yeah.
It's actually crazy. So, definitely looking forward to how our new OC is going to utilize him. Not to mention, for some reason we do. If you have a first or last name is as Haynes, like you are,
Yeah.
automatically a jacket. We had what we have, uh, you know,
Justice Haynes,
Justice
Jamal
Hayes. We have
Haynes.
Jamal
Yeah,
Haynes,
yeah, yeah.
who's a running back that just who just declared for the draft. We got Haynes King, so Justice Haynes coming in was
He'll fit right in.
was almost fit right in, and then like I think he's really going to match up well with an unsung hero that nobody really talks about, but Malachi Hosley. He
Mm.
was this, we had a good two running back tandem with him and Jamal Haynes last year. And I think that him and Justice Hayes will tear it up where like we're not gonna be abusing one running back. So, mix that in with Alberto Mendoza. I think we're gonna have a good. I'm looking forward. This will be the one actually be one of the first years that I tune into the spring game. I tend to
Nice.
just let it play out, and then and then
Dive into it later.
uh, uh see who get the end. But I kind of want to see what these new guys have in store because we have again. There's a lot of guys got in the portal. I'm looking forward to seeing how they pan out and who's gonna be the quarterback because everybody says Alberto Mendoza, but who knows?
It's
Gotcha.
very true.
No,
Very
it's gonna be Alberto. We paying too much money. You
true.
don't pay that money.
Yeah.